I know some of you are hesitant. That's a good thing. That's why we have this film. So let's who's taking up the vaccine? I've taken the vaccine.
I've done. Took two.
You took two.
Oh, I took two.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Who's not taking the vaccine yet?
The workshop today is about the benefit of taking the vaccine, promoting vaccination within the community, particularly the area community in Sheffield. We have some people, the majority are with the vaccines, and we had a few people who are still reluctant to have the vaccine. So many people came to us, they were very skeptical about this vaccine. So we had to ensure that the material is translated into the Arabic language. And also we had conversations to explain to them that we have already taken the vaccine ourselves after both so far, and I don't have any issues with it at all. I think there's a little bit of distrust from the past, trying different medications or many communities, etc. People are already skeptic even before the pandemic, so the pandemic made it worse. Especially when you have a doctor or professor saying, don't take the vaccine, it's a conspiracy, they want to reduce the number of people, the population of the world, and etc. They're trying to harm people, and etc. Some people do believe it.
This is the first time that they give this virus publicity. They scare people in the beginning. People get worried, and so many scientists, even professional people, are giving different views, and people are listening to all over, finding information. Because when you find information, you're not getting the right information. You get information from here and here. And then it's all confusing. So you don't know which one to choose,
I am wary for lots of different reasons. I think the biggest one is there's a massive unknown, and there's lots of questions that's still not being answered by science, by the doctors. So until that's made clear and backed up by science, I'm going to remain hesitant probably.
I think of all the conspiracy theories flying around, and social media plays a big part of all these conspiracy theories you hear on social media. But because COVID came all of a sudden, and it was a virus that we've not heard of before, so you don't think to take it as seriously. You just think, some people got it and it was just like a flu to them, and you just thought, a lot of people are just exaggerating it. I was very skeptical about the vaccine and the whole virus at first. I thought it was a big conspiracy theory, until back in December, my granddad, who was very healthy, didn't have any underlying health conditions, caught corona out the blue, and he passed away within 3 days. Now that shook us as a whole family, and since then we've been taking this situation a lot more seriously. We were anti-vaccine before that, and now my grandma, she's had 2 doses and my mum's had 1, because my mum's also vulnerable. She's classed as vulnerable due to health conditions, and I think it's really important that we get this message out to people who are against vaccines. Sometimes you could have COVID and not have any symptoms. Now, you don't know who you're passing that on to, but if you're vaccinated and if people around you are vaccinated, then you're safe. The quicker we get everyone vaccinated, the quicker life can go back to normal.
Feel a bit pressured.
My name is Jam. I know Flourish because I work in the charity sector, and most of my friends that work for Flourish, and they told me about it, that they wanted to get a football group together for people to help improve mental health. It's just a joy that people have when they're playing here, because a lot of them have not played football either ever or maybe not since they was a child, and it's just the pure fun of it. No one isn't really concerned about how good they are or if they make a goal or not. It's just really inclusive. Everyone just tries to make everyone laugh and just enjoy it, and it's just really nice because the rest of lockdown was all quite serious.
My name's Heather. I've been coming to these football sessions since they started, which I think was last year, maybe February time, and I try not to miss one. I come every week. I really struggled actually, so trying to juggle working from home and homeschooling and all those pressures, it's been really difficult, and worrying about the impact on my child and their well-being. So yeah, it's had a huge impact. And there were times that you can see there's some positive points about this, having more time together as a family, but the majority of it was stressful and, like I say, trying to juggle everything. So when these sessions have come back on, I've jumped at the chance to come back to them, and yeah, they've really helped me, and it has a massive impact on my mental health, definitely. No, we've not had rain. No. Hi, I'm Amy. I started with the Flourish Football Club last year before lockdown. I was really pleased to hear about a sort of inclusive, mental health friendly club just for women. And then sadly lockdown hit and the club stopped, so not been running for most of the year. I think sport has a massive impact on mental health, definitely. Looking after your physical health as well as your mental health. I think the two are so correlated. You can't have one without the other. And I think particularly with lockdown, not being able to get out and do much. I mean, I'm quite an active person, but it's been restricted, so it's great to just come here, let off some steam. I've mainly been working from home in my job because it's mainly desk-based, so to just get out, run around, speak to other people as well when you're just stuck at home on your own all day. Massive benefits for your physical and your mental health. Coming out of lockdown, I think people are definitely going to be anxious about that, particularly people that have been really isolated and they haven't had any contact with friends or family, and people that have been shielding, if they've been sort of clinically vulnerable. I think definite anxiety about even leaving the house for some people, but I think even people like me that have been lucky enough to still leave the house and go on walks, I think there's still that anxiety around being in big crowds and big groups. I think it's going to take a while for it to be normal and for people to not feel worried at all about COVID. And I think you're trying to find that middle ground, isn't it, of getting back to normal but still not putting yourself in a situation where you're too anxious or worried about COVID.
And I know you don't want to take the vaccine, do you?
I haven't received the appointment yet, but so far I'm not really happy to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, I already had the corona last year, and I don't feel it's really bad. So I felt like it's just normal cold, you want to be honest. But probably in future, I have to do it anyway. So I asked my family, most of them, my mom and they all done it. So to protect my family, but me, because I already have it, the corona, so I don't feel so bad.
I do food parcel to deliver to all people in our community. We give them like a leaflet in the bag, so they open it and they see. They get awareness about this when they get the leaflet from Hatfield, so they know how to contact to who and to ask about these things going on. And we also have taken vaccine. They said, you have taken vaccine? So I said, yeah, I've taken my vaccine.
Started to work from last year with the corona. I've been doing food parcels to people, the elderly, volunteer, vulnerable families. They got vulnerable kids. Drop the food to them. Like quick conversation. Last week when I went to do my parcel, I explained to them that my husband had it, most of my friends had it, my family, some of them, they had it. There is no problem. Side effect, just a couple of days, 1 or 2 days. And that's security, is normal. You keep your life safe and the others safe.
Well, I think due to controversies in the media, a lot of people are worried as a person of color. Is that are they trying to eliminate us or use us as guinea pigs? These are one of the most common questions I get asked. And I tell them, I am black, I've received the vaccine, and I had a mild side effect. And as you can see, I'm okay. So it's just a reassurance telling them it's nothing. Don't listen to what the media is saying. It's just like taking the normal flu vaccine, because every medication obviously do have side effects. It depends on the individual and how you react to it. I may take it, I may react, but you will take it and you may not react. So it's individually, really.
Soup is on this one. We always put them in order. 3 pies. We've got to wait for them, love.
So my name's Penny Thompson. I'm the Centre Coordinator for Longley Four Greens Community Centre, and part of my role is linking in with the local community to have discussions with them to find out what their needs are and to look at supporting the community in setting up grassroots development projects. As an example, such as the food pantry, which is run by local residents in the area. So some of the mental health impacts we had was one of those. The first thing that came about was the isolation. A lot of people felt that being locked in their own homes, they felt very isolated. They felt it was impacting on their mental health because they had nobody to engage with and nobody to interact with. So part of that was discussing with people, how can we help them? The other impacts with mental health was people felt those that had diagnosed mental health felt that they had really good support from the mental health teams, but just felt like, was they on their own in the world? Was it just them suffering? Was their mental health worsening? Was it happening to other people? So it gave them opportunity to meet other volunteers or other members and have that discussion and feel like they weren't on their own anymore.
My name is Kim Reynolds. I struggle really bad with ADHD and autism and mental health issues. I asked about 12 months ago, would it be possible to be a volunteer for the centre? And I was asked, would I like to run the food pantry? So I decided I'd love to do that, to get more involved in the community, because otherwise I'd be stuck in a bedroom in my house and I wouldn't be out of the bedroom for weeks on end. I wouldn't see nobody and my mental health would get really, really worse. I don't like being isolated. It's really knocks my mental health really down. I'm proud of being where I am now. If it wasn't for volunteering, I wouldn't be here. I'd have probably tried to overdose or something like that because I was that bad. And it's helped me be on a normal balance at the moment. 2 days a week here, it's lovely.
So I think what we can learn from the mental health is we're running a project at the minute called Community Champions, and part of that legacy is to look to lead into health projects. So while we're discussing with the community about issues around have they had the COVID vaccine, we're also trying to identify other health issues. From that, a lot of mental health has come out. So what we're then going to try to do is look at how do we address these needs for the community. So the people who spoke to us about mental health increasing, we're now talking with them is, if you had a package that we could deliver, so whether it be coming in to do yoga classes, whether it be having guest speakers coming in to speak about mental health, is this something you would be interested in? So we're currently going through that process at the moment. This is part of the grassroots development, and then what we would do is react to that to then look at securing the funding to put those projects on.
That's it, let's move around the bags. Stop, 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 speed. Stop, stop, speed.
So my name's Daniel Barton. I started Mental Mate about 18 months ago. I started it purely down to my own mental health being quite bad at the time, and boxing was something that I used to actually get me through my own mental health bad periods. So we just came up with the idea of Mental Mate. Chose the name purely because we kind of think that everybody should have a mental mate to talk to. Somebody can kind of bounce stuff off and kind of just talk about anything really. So we started the sessions, brought them down here to the Knox Boxing Gym, and kind of the first week the uptake was kind of 10-15 people straight away, and then it kind of grew and grew from strength to strength really. But obviously the lockdown came about and ruined a lot of the plans. That was kind of March, so then it's kind of just been stop start all the time for over the last 18 months.
Solid. That's it really.
A lot more people have joined the session since COVID. There's quite a wide variety of people that come now. People that probably had no mental health issues whatsoever prior to COVID and kind of been stuck in the house, not be able to do what they need to do. In some way, COVID's kind of helped us in a weird way, because obviously we did it just from a mental health point of view, but since COVID's come back, that impact it's had on mental health, got a lot more people come through the doors now. A lot of it's kind of just kind of depression, stress, anxiety. We have quite a few issues obviously with people wanting to come, but they're kind of being anxious about leaving the house and things like that. Some of it's isolation. Some people live alone, they've not seen people properly for 18 months. So their outlet is coming down here and seeing the same faces once, twice a week.
So my name is Lauren. I am a receptionist at GP Surgery in Sheffield. I've struggled a lot because I lost a friend last year. I found mental mate has been really helpful as part of my healing. Having something consistent has been really good, even when we couldn't come here to the gym. A couple of times we did one-on-one, we did that outside, and that was still really helpful because then you could also have a longer chat. So it's been incredibly beneficial.
Post-lockdown, overall aim really is to have 4 or 5 sessions a week. We want to integrate a kids class into that, ideally once a week as well, and make the classes ideally free or as cheap as possible if funding doesn't allow that. So we already make our Wednesday night free now due to funding, so people can at least access 1 free session a week, and some just come to that session, some will come to both. But I don't really believe that people should have to pay for mental health support and anything that benefits them.
I think with community leaders coming forward, reassuring them, hearing first-hand stories like myself, like if my granddad, unfortunately, if he never had passed away, I would never have understood the severity of the virus. I mean, people need to hear real life stories and just reassurance from people that have had the vaccine that they've not had any horror side effects like all these stories that are going around. I do believe reassurance, especially within like the BAME community.
I think by showing them this is the right way, the right thing to do, because people are dying. This is a serious problem, we have to, there's no other solution except the vaccine.
Yeah, it's just a vaccine, and it has been tried, and it has been authorized, so there's no problem at all. And people should not feel guilty to promote it amongst people. It's really saving life. And the other point that we do focus on is that preventative is better than cure. So listening to the measures, keeping your social distancing, cleaning hands, and keeping the mask is basically saving many people's lives, but taking it is better than not taking it.
So I think we need to play our part, but I think we also need to convince you, to take your vaccine, and you sit next to me every day.
Well, after I hear from Khadija, probably I will do it.
Oh, Khadija!
Family, so I have to protect my family, my friends, so I will definitely do it.
Well, wonderful.